Hey, if you're wondering why in this video, there's plodding in the background, it's because my dogs were in the room, and I don't exactly know how to muffle that out without also taking out my voice. So sorry, I do address it in the video, but just so you know, yeah, and it's like 3 a.m. when I'm recording this, so sorry for this part, having shitty audio. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Hello, this is Sam from Rambling About Wrestling, and today, my very late review of Catch with Intent 2026, the 6th anniversary show of Catch Pro Wrestling. I'm doing this review solo because Jack, uh, didn't attend this show, but he sends his regards. So, this show, it was the anniversary show of Catch, as I mentioned before. So that means we had a lot of big matches and progressing storylines. And also, it was the first Catch show in Gorilla. Hopefully, Catch's new home after it left the bread shed at the end of 2025. So this is unscripted. I'm just gonna go through my thoughts on each of the matches, and then at the end I'll give it a grade if it passes or fails. I'm just getting up the card. Uh, Sorry, I'm a bit unprepared for this, but first video 2026 for me, so we are cruising through. Um, Trying our best with what we can do. That's all you can open 2026. Just do your best. Okay. So, kicking off the bout, we had our only tag match of the night. Northwest Strong, represented by Chris Ridgway and Keenan Kushner, versus Tony Wright and Danny Proper. Right and Proper. That's a really good tag name. I hope they used it on commentary. I actually don't know who was on commentary for this show. I uh, I didn't see who was on there. I believe Lucy Simmons were there, but I don't know who was doing commentary with her. But yeah, shout out to Lucy Simmons, always good on the commentary decks. Um, so this tag match, I wasn't expecting this to open. I think I don't know if we made a predictions video for this, but I did say to Jack I wouldn't be surprised if Steen opens because that's what Steen kind of does. Steen just opens. If you're hearing noises, my dogs are running around. Hi, dogs. Nice to meet you. Um, so yeah, Steen normally opens. So I thought, that'd be, an easy match to open. You get the Steeny and Skinner drama, in the first thing, the first sort of storyline of the night, but it didn't. It ends open up with this, and this storyline has been building for the past couple of months. I can't remember the show it happened, but it was the same show we all thought Keenan retired against Scott Oberman. Keenan attacked Tony Wright, turned heel. Um, and then on the next show, we don't promote chaos, we deserve it. They had a brawl all around the bread shed, which was pretty keno, as the kids would say. And then it led to this tag match because Danny Proper and Chris Ridgway tried to defend each of their boys, and Ridgway attacked Proper. Funny enough, the graphic at We Don't Promote Chaos said it was just going to be a singles match, but Danny Proper actually responded to me on the Twitters saying that he doesn't care what any graphic says, he wants this tag match. So Danny Proper has some swing backstage at Catch, evidently. Which makes you wonder why no one answered his open challenge at We Don't Promote Chaos. But anyways, yes, this match was a really good contest. Um, this was before I had anything to drink that night. So I was the most watched in it, and there was a clear storyline of Northwest Strong being able to work together and Right and Proper sort of working as individuals because they're not used to teaming up. So Northwest Strong held the advantage for a lot of this match. I thought at one point, oh, they're gonna do the thing where the heels have the advantage for the match, but then the faces get that last rush of adrenaline and win the match. But that didn't happen. Ridgeway and Keenan worked efficiently, separated right and proper from each other so that they couldn't help each other. Basically turned into a handicap match for most of it. And yeah, it was just really good storytelling through wrestling, and then Northwest Strong pick up the victory with help from a Teddy Ray interference, which I didn't expect. And I think someone said next to me that he was wearing the biggest, smallest shorts they'd ever seen. Not shorts, pants. It were like pants that like came down to his legs, but because Teddy Ray's that short, they were really short, long pants. um, so yeah, uh, a good opening contest. Developed storylines going forward. Northwest Strong clearly positioning themselves uh, in this scene. If I had to say where it could go forward, really, the only thing I can think of is maybe something with Big T, because he's the only like face male champion now. Because we'll get to that in a second. Why is the next match on the card is Declan McCarthy versus Henry Faust. Now, as it's well documented on this channel, my persona really hates Declan McCarthy. I want to just point out that's a character. When we do those sorts of videos, I am playing a character. I don't want Declan to think that that some random guy, actually doesn't like him. Like I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think he was, talented to warrant, any pushback. Like if someone isn't, giving it in the ring, I don't say anything. If I'm saying something, whether it's good or bad, it's a reaction. That's what the crowd tends to do. They'll give a reaction to a good performer, no matter if they're heel or face. So I just wanted to clear that up before we talk about this match. It was a really hard hitting affair. I think these were some of the biggest chops of the night. We'll get to the biggest chop of the night. Don't worry, it's coming. And it was quicker than what I thought it would be. I thought this would go on a bit longer, but they sort of managed to encapsulate the matchup pretty well. Henry Faust seemed to have Deck McCarthy's number, but then the strength of Deck McCarthy would just overwhelm him. And then that's where Deck would capitalise and ultimately win the match. So yeah, overall the match did what I think the match did what had to. And that being the second match on the card, still keep the crowd sparking, getting ready for the title matches later on, but not trying to overperform them. You know what I mean? So good work to both men. They did their jobs perfectly, I felt like. And now we move on to Brady Phillips versus Troy Ryan. And these two was in the four-way at We Don't Promote Chaos. And this match, I feel like because it went on in the middle, I remember less about it than others. But I believe this match was the spot where they went out of the crowd and started throwing each other into the wall. I might be wrong, but I believe that's this match. If it isn't, let me know in the comments. I'm sure Miles will have better memory than I do about what happened in this match. If I say anything that contradicts the Brothers Grappers podcast episode, you go with them, because they probably recorded that a lot earlier than when I'm recording this. So yeah, the crowd were really behind Troy and didn't expect him to lose this match. because he won the four-way, he won hostile, but that doesn't really seem to have led to anywhere, which I'm surprised. I thought it would, but hopefully now with a couple title changes in this show, he can challenge for one of the titles. Because now the heel face dynamics have evened up a bit. So yeah, I feel bad that I can't retain more from it, but it would just with these two performers, they're gonna have a great match. It's just a matter of spots at that point, because with how amazing Troy Ryan is, how amazing Brady Phillips is, it's just gonna be a matter of what spots can you remember, and sadly I can't remember any spots. Maybe if I weren't recording this a week after the show, maybe I'd retain more. So sorry if I'm forgetting like a really epic spot that happened. Oh, the flippy doo off the top rope that Troy Ryan did. I can't remember the name of it, but it's Hurricane Rana. A Hurricane Rana off the top rope from Troy Ryan. That was the standout moment from this match, as it's being clipped in a ton of Instagram reels and TikToks and everything like that. The next match was for the GMAC World Title, the World Title match, going in the middle of the card. Well, it ended the first half of the show anyway, so I guess it's sort of main evented. This was between Big T and Sam Bailey. Oh, are we back? I thought my camera cut out. So between Big T and Sam Bailey, this storyline going into it was that don't know why my camera keeps doing that. If it doesn't do that and it's just my camera acting up, and in the edit it doesn't actually do anything. Wow. So yeah, this match started when at the show, Keenan attacked Tony. A masked person attacked Big T. And then We Don't Promote Chaos. It was revealed that it was Sam Bailey who was going to challenge for the title. And Sam Bailey came out, and we all immediately started chanting not Timu Shield, because he had a bulletproof vest on for Big T. And I just thought that was a really funny bit of character work. I like when Sam Bailey gets to just have fun. I think when Sam Bailey has to be very serious, you don't get peak Bailey. But when he gets to let loose and have a little bit of fun, you get the peak Bailey, prime Bailey. And here the story was basically, could Sam Bailey, wrangle his way out of Big T's just sledgehammer offense, basically. Big T works really well with technical wrestlers, and Sam Bailey is one of the best technical wrestlers on the indie scene. So this match was really good. This was where I believe the loudest chop of the night happened, because Big T just rips off the bulletproof vest and then delivers the biggest chop to Sam Bailey that we heard. And that was really the turning point to where it turned into a Big T win, a big victory. That worked better in my head than it does out loud. Anyways, the second half of the show didn't open with a match. I have a unique perspective on this, because I had a front reaction to what happened. So at the merch table, Aiden Steen and Ian Skinner were at either side, and in Catch's story, Ian Skinner has a restraining order against Aiden Steen after Aiden Steen kicked him in the bowels. And Ian Skinner were telling Aiden Steen to stay away and then spat at him. So I'm watching this. I turn around to get me raffle tickets, and then the next thing I know, Ian Skinner gets thrown into the back of me and nearly knocks my phone out my hand. And then they just start brawling in front of me. So I just kind of scoot off to the side to the barricade, because I'm I don't want to be in the way of this. I don't know what they're going to do, so I'm just going to stay in the corner and wait till they leave the area. because I don't want to interrupt this. So yeah, I don't know if it was captured on video, but if it was, I probably looked scared because it was like just two wrestlers just into the back of me. And then after they brawled, they got separated in the ring, and it was announced that Ian Skinner and Aiton Steen will face each other in a dog collar match. And this was the only match that was really announced for the next show. Normally, Catch do a couple, but for this one, they've only announced one, so it's making me think: is the venue situation fully tied up, or was it just this one-off thing? Will Gorilla bring them back? I hope they do, because Gorilla's a really good venue. That they should lower the prices of their alcohol. Just saying. And then we get into the second half's actual matches. Because Ian Skinner and Aiton Steen, they was suspended for the night because of their little brawl. Their opponents, their original opponents, would face each other in a match. And that was Vusic and Kevin Lloyd. This match was fine. It got people, back into the thing of wrestling. What I will say though is, I don't know how it happened, but I believe one of them started bleeding. Not from like the head, just like from the shoulder. I believe it was this match. There was one match where someone just randomly started bleeding from the shoulder. Don't know why it wasn't Aiton Steen. Aiton Steen normally is a death match. He normally bleeds everywhere. But yeah, I believe it was this match. And it was just weird because I was like, what did they even do to do that? So yeah, this match was fine. It was passable. I'm sorry I can't say more about it. Because, I like both performers, Vusic and Kevin Lloyd, but sorry to say. Then the catchweight title match. I'm surprised this didn't go on last. We had Scott Oman fighting the reigning champion, the Dog's Bollocks, Scotty Rourke. Scott versus Scott. The loser would no longer be able to call themselves Scott. That should have been the stipulation, but no, it was just for the title. We timed Scott Oman's entrance. I believe it was like 3 minutes flat or something. So add that to your databases of Scott Oman entrances and where that ranks. What's number 39? Let me know in the comments below. This match, weirdly enough, out of all the matches, this felt the most predictable. Just because we, especially from my perspective, because we keep up with what wrestlers talk about online. We know Scotty Rourke had started accepting bookings in London, so we're like, he might not be Manchester bound for too long. And then Scott Oman, he's like the king of Manchester at this point. He's won, I think he's got 6 titles now. And so it sort of felt like a foregone conclusion. But this match was really good. It was really hard hitting, sort of like strong style type wrestling. And it was weird because neither one of them would stay down for long. Like, they get hit with a big move, back up. It would just not finisher spamming, but just hard offense, and then adrenaline picking the other back up. It would clear the story they were trying to tell of both of them would run on fumes. Who's got enough to carry them? Who's gonna burn out? And after it, I think it was I don't know what Scott Oman's cutter is called. Trip to the barbers, considering of his long hair. But yeah, he hit the top rope cutter, and then that put Scotty Rourke away for the 3, and we have a new champion. And that was it was nice because Scott Oman, he's a great performer, and seeing him more at Catch is pretty good because he's that good. The second the mainstream picks up Scott Oman, that's it. So we're just enjoying him while we can, basically, because his stock is just gonna keep rising, and he deserves it. And then the main event of the evening, 2C Sky defending against Lily Winter. The annoying thing is, 2 shows ago, I said to Jack, the show you see Lily Winter win the title, I want you to buy a t-shirt with Shuck on it. And I have a feeling he missed the show on purpose so that he didn't have to reach into his wallet to buy a Lily Winter t-shirt. Because this match, it was title versus career. So if Lily Winter lost, she'd have to go back to ring announcing, which is how she started in Catch. Now, for an anniversary show, this is a great stipulation, but the way it was announced sort of came out of nowhere because Lily Winter kind of just said it. Like, she already had the title match. She won the number 1 contenders at We Don't Promote Chaos, but then just announced, hey, if I lose, I go back to ring announcing. So it was really weird. I was kind of hoping there was a way they could, organically do it, but she just kind of said it. But then we get to the match, and this is like the best Lily Winter performance I think there has been. It's weird because Lily Winter, in most promotions I see, is a heel, but she works so better as a face. Like, just saying, she works so better as an underdog. And I think it's that sort of kayfabe meddling in with reality, in a way, that makes her such an effective face. Lucy Sky sort of leaned into the Lucy Sky chants. We had so much fun with that. It's really funny how that's taken off, those chants, from Future Shock Anniversary last year, I believe, were when we first heard them. I hope they keep going, but I hope that just stays Manchester. I want that to be like Lucy Sky's Manchester gimmick. So don't start doing it in Liverpool, or don't start doing it in London when she gets booked. Just keep it a Manchester thing, because that could be our thing for Lucy Sky. Sorry, Lucy Sky. And so this match, it was weird. It were closing at first, but then we're like, all hyped because what a women's match is closing the show. I think more women's matches should close the show when the storyline is warranted, and this storyline was very much warranted because with the stipulation, this is a storyline that spans all of Catch's history, with Lily Winter and being the ring announcer. So this was, an appropriate time. And it was just nice for everyone to just be behind Lily Winter, and for a whole crowd to all be with one person. Because even in matches like Scott versus Scott, some people were rooting for Oberman. Even like Depp McCarthy and Henry Faust, there was 2 people who liked Depp McCarthy. So yeah, it was just nice to see everyone get behind Lily Winter, and she deserves it. Overall, this show, I would say it's a really strong 8.5. The only sort of thing dragging it down is that there wasn't much match variety. Aside from the tag match, every match was singles, no disqualification. There wasn't any, different matches. Sorry, that was my dog. And so, yeah, I would like to see more stipulation matches, but we seem to be getting it with the dog collar match that's for next Catch. Speaking of the next Catch show, let's talk about what's going to be there. I have some predictions based on what happened at this show. I'm expecting a Future Shock versus Catch interpromotional match, just because in Sam Bailey's match, the Future Shock guys came out and pushed Big T around a little bit, including Proctor, and that's weird. I've never seen Dr. Proctor be a heel, but he was in Catch. So that small addition is making me think, are we getting this interpromotional thing? And if it does happen, what happens to people like Scott Oberman or Lily Winter, Tusi Sky, who go to both promotions and are big faces in both promotions? What happens to them? Which side do they pick? Under Siege. I'm assuming it's going to be more catch side because Future Shock is meant for all audiences. So if you have, catch wrestlers show up and then, kids like what's catch and they watch it, catch isn't for all audiences, it's 14 plus. So, you don't, kids aren't really allowed to see that. So I feel like if it does happen, it's just going to be a catch exclusive storyline. But I'm looking forward to it. If it does happen, it might just be in this one thing with Sam Bailey's match. What else? I believe Brady Phillips might challenge Scott Oberman because he just beat Troy Ryan. So I think that could be a possible match for Scott Oberman's first defense. For the women's title, maybe Molly Spartan could come back. That would be fun to see for Lily Winter because they faced in the triple threat. Now they can face in the singles match. And Big T is just going to keep on going on the bus. The Big T bus has left the stop. Choo choo. That's a train. Anyways, thank you for watching this review of Catch with Intent to the 6th anniversary show. I've been Sam from Rambling About Wrestling. Keep on rambling.